bit more like Eli Manning.
Right.
Okay, and Russell for the quarterback for Seattle. You don't need these guys going out there and acting like we'll call it Rob Gronkowski and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. That's what makes the league, what it is. Guys are different characters. I'm just saying. Okay, as a player who's been there.
And you know what, Bill? That Pittsburgh Steelers example that you came up with. I'll give you one word for what I think of that example. Ready? Outstanding. Outstanding. Because you know what? That when you talk about Mean Joe Green and those guys, they were definitely strong personalities that know how to govern a locker room. And I'll give you one that hits me closer to home as well, even though it's not on subject. Bear with me while you understand the significance of this, okay? When the Detroit Pistons traded for a guy by the name of Mark Aguirre, and they were looking to win that championship. Isaiah Thomas, Bill Laimbeer, and Rick Mahorn went out there and told Aguirre, we know what happened in Dallas. It will not happen here. The word policing. And let me tell you, Mark Aguirre got one of the biggest stern lectures and was warned by those guys with a strong locker room present, okay, it won't happen here. The Pistons went on to win the championship. End of story. Now, I think one of the things that I believe in my mind as we put a bow on this broadcast, okay, Bill, is I believe in my mind, like you, that I think the 2-week layoff is detrimental. I really do. Too many distractions. I understand it, okay, but still way too many distractions. But this is a time and a place where, unfortunately, we may be seeing a lot of these. It just is. And, I don't know. We'll have to come up with some hard stats about whether the games were closer down the road, whether you have a 1 week or 2 weeks. But I still prefer the 1 week like yourself is when we try to reel it all in, Bill.
Well, I will say this, too. This is kind of funny, Scott. It's going to be interesting. We're having this conversation. We've got 2 weeks to see what happens. Right. We're going to see a great football game, and we can sit back and go and say to our audience, okay, the kids learned from their experiences from previous past, and actually they were pretty cool. Because I think that we were redlining a couple of years ago with the ridiculousness of the media, and I just think it's been overkill. Mm-hmm. So it's already kind of swinging back to the middle where these guys going to have a little bit more of a sense of normalcy. So I'm, I believe in the younger generation. I know they do things differently. I've been a coach. I've won at the college level and the high school level, dealing with my kids, and I'm willing to, give them a leeway. But you also can't, give them an inch where they take a mile as well. Okay, so it's going to be interesting to see what plays out. Okay, I just want the guys to have a great experience. I know they've got a week off to relax and get all this stuff out. Hopefully they'll take care of their business and take care of their craft and be ready to go and get ready to go because, they're getting better at it every year. And the NFL has probably seen everything they can possibly see, so they kind of know how to keep the players from making poor mistakes. All right, so let's just see. But I'm sure that something's going to happen over the next 2 weeks that's going to be artificially generated.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and I just hopefully it won't affect the team. And I will tell you this. Remember, I don't know if you noticed this, but remember I think it was the first quarter of one of the games. There was a commercial on there, and it was a politicized commercial.
Uh-huh.
And I sat back going, oh, shit, here we go. Are we going to sit here and watch all these commercials about social justice and all this stuff? When people are sitting down, they want to watch a football game because some special interest group has a political agenda.
Right.
Okay? But luckily for me, it was only one commercial, and it wasn't that bad. But it scared me for a second, going, hopefully the media isn't running everything now to the point where it's turning into a quagmire. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. We are at the crossroads in this country in a lot of avenues. And sports is the way that we get out of it. Because this is the one time where we all come together and united. Right. And we can't be sitting here having people that have different agendas. Okay? And I look back at what happened to Kurt Flood a long time ago. Okay? And I'm seeing what's going on with some players that deserve to be in the league that have used the wrong platforms or calling attention to themselves through social media, and they basically can ruin their careers.
Right.
And, and so we don't really talk about that. We just want the younger generation to say there's a better way to do it. and you could put a better product out there. But we need you to be ball players, and we need you to focus on what you're doing. Okay, and leave all that other stuff for some other avenue, another time, and go out and win the game. And if you win the game, then you can do all that stuff in the offseason.
Right. I'm with you.
Okay, that's where I'm coming from, and I think that's what John Q. Public is saying. And I believe that the youngsters out there that are playing the game right now, and I do call them youngsters because they're rookies. And remember, these are young men that are making a lot of money.
Right.
Okay, and it's there's a little different pressure on them than when I played, but there's. Quite frankly, I laugh because if I played today, I'd be loosey-goosey because I'm sitting there going, geez, I'm making $1 million a year. I'm set for life. These guys are, they don't realize that. Okay, I'm just sitting back, and I come from a generation where these guys in one snap make more than we made an entire year. Okay, and I just got done reading an article, and we'll talk about this the other time, that I posted on my Facebook page that I'd like you to read about. Because I was on the phone today with the NFLPA for a long time, okay, regarding what's going to go on with the strike in the next year and a half.
Right.
Okay, because I can tell you something right now. The NFL and the NFLPA has to clean up a lot of stuff from the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Right.
These players today are spoiled rotten.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and I don't mind it because a lot of us have put them there, but they also have to respect the game. Right. And occasionally you're going to run into guys that make stupid mistakes that are a reflection on all of us that have played the game. And I'm hoping that they'll, rein it in a little bit, and I'm going to trust them that they'll do that.
All right. Well, then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a different point of view, Bill, okay? Because it's okay for us to be different, and we don't always have to agree on everything. I don't trust the younger generation. I don't. I really don't. And I've seen too much out there that gives me the reason not to do it. You're a better person than I am. I don't trust them. And you know what? Yeah, I would say that it would be even money, okay, Bill, that somebody's going to screw up the night before. And yes, we're having this conversation whenever we have another one of these broadcasts to prove that one of us is right, one of us isn't. But I don't trust the younger generation. Something bad and stupid is going to happen. Don't know what it is, TBD, but I can tell you right now. And when you have a show like ours, which is no holds bar, anything goes, you know what I mean? That's what makes doing these programs with you a whole lot of fun, Bill, because we're all over the map, whether we're on subject or we're not. But in the end, we know how to reel it all in and wrap that rope around the pole. And it's like tetherball anyways, you know what I mean? Remember tetherball? Okay? Once upon a time, I played that game for entertainment. But anyways, we got about a minute and a half or 2 minutes to go in the broadcast. Any closing thoughts about whether or not a 1 week or 2 week layoff is beneficial or detrimental? The floor is yours.
Well, my answer, it's a wash. It just depends on how they handle it. But if I'm a player, I'm voting for 1 week. Guys, I'd like you to go to my Facebook page and become my friend. All right, I'm getting a lot of people that are hitting on my Facebook and friend requests.
Good.
I'm posting videos there that will kind of reflect what we talk about on our shows. And I would also like you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you just go to Bill Winters and type in the word football, you'll see a purple circle with me wearing a Nike hat. Hit subscribe, because we're eventually going to put these podcasts onto our YouTube channel.
Right.
And I'm going to look forward over the next year or two to chopping wood, because, Scott, I will tell you this right now. Okay, I already know that we're in the top 10 as far as the number of people out in the country that are doing what they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
I know that there's things that we're talking about. We know more than them because we have the experience and we were there. Okay, and I see trends. Okay, pro football is pro football. It really hasn't changed except the way it's presented to the American public and all the other fluff that comes. They've made it more entertainment. But when those guys run on the field and go to tee it up, okay, it doesn't matter. They got to go out and execute. And they got to play ball. Okay, so hopefully the officials will let them play. We won't have a lot of blown calls where the zebras are the ones who control the game. I think they're getting better at that. I think that the young generation is going to go out there and play lights out. It's going to be fun because they're all talented guys. But we're going to see how smart they are, because in the end, it boils down to how educated you are and how experienced you are.
I'm going to add this while I have the opportunity to do that, Bill. First of all, for a lot of you folks that are looking for the South Florida Tribune on Twitter, you can follow us at Tribune South, the @ Tribune South. On Facebook, we have South Florida Tribune page. The logo is an actual T with the palm trees going down, a big T, so you'll be able to follow us that way. Or you can Google Scott Morgenroth and friend me, and I'll be more than happy to accept your request so we can get out there both on Twitter at Tribune South or Facebook South Florida Tribune with the logo T with the palm trees down it. And you'll be able to find a lot of our broadcasts. So between your YouTube channel and my social media outlet, I guess the only thing I can say as we wrap up the program, Bill, is this. Okay, I feel like in my mind, I don't trust the younger generation. You do. So the only thing that's really left out there to find is, will there be another distraction that is added to the list of ones that we discussed earlier in the broadcast? Well, you know what? We'll find out over the course of the next 10 days or so. So on behalf of Bill Winters, my name is Scott Morganroth, the Motor City Madmouth. You're listening to the Motor Mouth and Wild Bill Winters Show here on the South Florida Tribune Broadcasting Network. Any last things you want to say real quick, Bill, before we end the program?
No, I'm just going to take the 49ers in the game and make my adjustment while I'm watching it. And thank you for listening, everybody, and have a great night.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much. Have a great night. We'll be back for another episode of Motor Mouth and Wild Bill Winters here on the South Florida Tribune Broadcasting Network.